Good morning, students. Welcome again. So it's the time for the Gayatri Mantra. Fold your hands and close your Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodaya Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्. So good morning, students. So, students, yesterday we have completed some topics of the chapter 4, the alternative centers of power. So, the topics were first we have completed the European Union, second we have completed the ASEAN Association of Southeast Asian Nations, then rise of Chinese. So, rise of China, today we will be moving ahead with the rise of Chinese economy. The third major alternate center of power is our immediate neighbor, that is China. China's economic gains since 1978 are linked to its rise as a great power. Since reforms began, China has become the most rapidly growing economy. It is expected to replace US as the world's largest economy by 2020. Its position makes it the driver of East Asian growth and gives it an enormous influence in regional affairs. The economic strength, along with its population, location, land mass, resources, and political influence, add to its power in important ways. So, students, you will see that we are sharing the 4,000 kilometers border with the China, and you know there was a socially, culturally attachment with the China. You have seen the Lord Buddhas, the Buddhism spread from India to the China. So we see that it is a giant country with a huge population. If we talk about the rank about the population, it's number one, and second one is the India. And we see here that these India and China are the two giants of the Asia. So at the time of the inception of Chinese economy in 1949, the Communist Revolution under Mao Zedong, Chinese economy was modeled as Soviet model. We have seen this Soviet model, socialist model of the communist model was adopted by the USSR, and the same thing was adopted by the China. The communist parties were formed, socialist system was there, and everything as the USSR state was controlling all its resources. In China also the state was controlling all the resources of the state. The model adopted was certain of state controlled heavy industries funded by the capital accumulated from agriculture. So starting we see that lot of gains China has done from the agriculture, and to boost its industry, to have the technology from the others, he has to spend a lot of money, and he made a lot of gains from the agriculture. Since China needed foreign exchange to buy technology and goods from the world market and substituted imports by domestic goods, and it has started the exports also and imports also. This model led China to use its own resources and establish an industrial economic model that did not exist before. China assured social welfare of its citizens. He had given the basic amenities like the health, education to its people. China moved ahead of all developing states with a growth rate of 5 to 6%. However, the 2 to 3% annual growth rate of population meant that the growth rate did not match the increasing needs of the population. The Chinese economy was boosting, but on the other side, its population was also increasing. And, and the growth rate of population meant that the growth rate did not match the increasing needs of the population. Agriculture did not provide surplus for industry. Thus, just like Soviet economy, China also faced severe economic crisis due to minimal trade and low per capita income. Actually, in the starting, it has closed the door for the competition of the industries and the other commodities. The crisis led Chinese to review their policy in 1970s. In 1972, it ended its economic and political isolation by establishing close relations with the USA. As I have told you that earlier, it has closed its door for the trade for the other countries, and it has revised its policy in 1972. It has opened the doors for everyone, and he moved to the just came near to the USA. Premier at that time, the premier was of Chinese was Juan and Lai in 1973 proposed four moderations in the field of agriculture, industry, science, and technology. In 1978, the supreme Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping announced open door policy and reforms in China. The aim was to increase productivity by investment of technology and capital from overseas. China pioneered a new path in adopting a market economy. Instead of opting for a shock therapy, as we have seen in the USSR, a shock therapy was adopted, but China did not adopt this path. Stepwise, slowly and gradually, he had moved to the privatization or the capitalism. In 1982, agriculture was privatized, while in 1998, industry was privatized. Trade barriers were removed in special economic zones, where investors from abroad could establish enterprise. State still continues to play a central role in setting up a market economy. The adoption of new economic policies broke the stagnation in Chinese economy. Privatization of agriculture has led to a remarkable increase in agricultural production and rural income. High rate of savings in rural sector has led to an unexpected growth in rural industry. Chinese agriculture and industry therefore grew at a rapid pace. The creation of SEZs. SEZs means special economic zones are set up by the country to attract the foreign investments. That is known as a special economic zones. Infrastructure is built by the nation to attract the foreign investment. The creation of SEZs led to rise in foreign trade. China has become the most center for FDI, foreign direct investments. Increase in foreign exchange reserve has allowed China to invest in other areas. China's membership of WTO, and he has joined the World Trade Organization also in 2001, has further boosted its economy. China now plans to integrate its economy with the world economy deeply so that it can influence the future world economic order. The improvements notwithstanding, everyone in China has not been benefited. We see that the economy of China was boosted, but still there was the gap between the people. The people were divided into two parts. The people ones who were rich and other were the poor, have and have nots. So unemployment has touched figures of over 100 million. Unemployment was there. Likewise, conditions of work and female employment are in a bad shape as in traditional European societies. Further, corruption and environmental degradation have increased. Similarly, the gulf between rural and urban areas, there was a gap between the rural and urban areas also. And the coastal and inland provinces has increased. This does not mean that here we are looking that unemployment is there, there is a gap between the rich and the poor, urban and the rural areas. But this does not mean that China had not grown. In fact, it has become a powerful economic force. The integration and interdependence of Chinese economy has helped it to yield considerable influence on its trade partners. Due to this, its outstanding conflicts with US, ASEAN, Japan, Russia, etc. have been tempered. It even hopes to resolve its differences with the renegade province Taiwan. Moreover, skepticism over China's rise have been marginalized after its vital role in stabilizing ASEAN economies after the 1977. I- Its investments and aid in Latin America and African states have helped it to project itself as a major global player for the developing states. Students, as we have seen in the after the Second World War, the America has given the aid to the East European countries. After boosting its economy, the China also the China also the China also has improved the relations between the other countries. I will let you know where it is. Relations between India and China, ASEAN giants. So now we will read about the relations between India and China, ASEAN giants. So as you know, we are sharing the border and we are having culturally and spiritual ties up with the China. So how are the relations between the India and China? Origins and early phase of cordiality. So India and China are two giants, Asian giants, who share a huge border of 4,000 kilometers and a relationship that goes back to 5,000 years ago. Buddhism spread from India to China. Colonial exploitation had led to some kind of contact between the two states. Chinese leader Chiang Kai-shek had supported the cause of India's freedom. After independence, relations started a note of cordiality. In 1949, India was amongst the countries who recognized the communist regime in China. Yeah, we are trading, Sarveer, we are trading lot of business ties up with the China. Lot of things are coming from the China, and our spices and salts are going to the China. So, lot of exchange of goods are there. But today we see at the coronavirus, as the things are moving, that it is said that corona is built up by the China. So some relations are not going well between China and the India if we talk about the present time. So after independence, relations started a note of cordiality. In 1949, India was among the foremost countries to recognize communist China. Both the countries signed the document of Panchsheel in 1954, which was based on mutual equality. 1954 हमने एक पंचशील का सिद्धांत बनाया था कि हिंद चीनी जो है भाई भाई बनकर रहेंगे, एक दूसरे का सहयोग करेंगे। और ये पंचशील का जो सिद्धांत था, there were 5 principles on which these two countries have to work. Students, these were the mutual equality, नॉन इंटरफेरेंस कि एक दूसरे में इंटरफेयर नहीं करेंगे, नॉन एग्रेशन एक दूसरे पे आक्रमण नहीं करेंगे, म्यूचुअल रिस्पेक्ट वी विल रिस्पेक्ट टू ईच अदर एंड पीसफुल को एग्जिस्टेंस, और जैसे जिसका बॉर्डर है वैसे ही रहेगा, सह अस्तित्व जो है वो बना के रखेंगे। तो चाइना सपोर्टेड इंडियाज लिबरेशन ऑफ गोवा, और जब गोवा को हमने आज़ाद करवाया पोर्चुगीज से, तो हमें जो है चाइना ने हमारे इस काम को सराहा। तो गोवा while India supported communist China's claims to a permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council, और जब चाइना ने wanted to be in the Security Council, a permanent member of the United Nations, तो हम लोगों ने जो है चाइना का सपोर्ट किया था ताकि वो एक यूनाइटेड नेशंस के अंदर एक परमानेंट मेंबर के रूप में बना रहे। इट वॉज हिंदी चीनी भाई फेज। एक समय था जब नारे लगा करते थे हिंद और चीनी जो है वो भाई भाई हैं। वेरी कोर्डियल रिलेशंस वर देयर। दिस फेस एंडेड व्हेन चाइना लेड क्लेम्स ऑन द इंडियन टेरिटरी। और ये हालात तब बिगड़ने शुरू हो गए जब अरुणाचल प्रदेश वाली साइड से या लद्दाख वाली साइड से या तिब्बत के ऊपर उन्होंने अपना क्लेम करना शुरू कर दिया। तब से भारत और चाइना के रिलेशन जो है वो खराब होने लगे। तो सबसे बड़ी बात क्या थी कि तिब्बतन लीडर जो थे दलाई लामा, जब तिब्बत के ऊपर इन्वेड किया चाइना ने और दलाई लामा जो धार्मिक गुरु थे वो हमारे यहाँ पे आ गए शरण लेने के लिए, एंड वी हैव गिवन द रिफ्यूज टू दलाई लामा। तो जिससे कि चाइना वांटेड टू इंडिया टू हैंड ओवर द दलाई लामा टू देम, बट इंडिया रिफ्यूज्ड। क्योंकि घर पे आए हुए मेहमान को हम लोग क्या समझते हैं, भगवान समझते हैं। तो वी डिड नॉट हैंडेड द दलाई लामा टू द चाइना, जिससे कि रिलेशंस जो है हमारे चाइना के साथ बिगड़ गए। So the relation further worsened when China aided Pakistan in the wars of 1965 and 1971। हमारे पाकिस्तान के साथ युद्ध हुआ 1965 का, 1971 का। पाकिस्तान की मदद जो है वो चाइना ने की थी, जिससे हमारे रिलेशन और बढ़ गए। और इससे पहले 1962 के अंदर जो है चाइना ने भारत के ऊपर अटैक किया, जिससे कि एक शर्मनाक हार जो है भारत की हुई और जिससे कि रिलेशन जो है काफी तनावपूर्ण चाइना के साथ हमारे हो गए। We were defeated in 1962। तो अब कई बार हमने 1974 के अंदर न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट किए, अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी के समय के अंदर 1998 के अंदर हमने न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट किए। तो ये चीज़ भी चाइना को जो है वो बर्दाश्त नहीं हुई। तो अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जब 1975 के बाद इमरजेंसी लगाई इंदिरा गांधी ने पूरे देश के अंदर, राइट्स वर टेकन ऑफ द पीपल, और जो नया कोलिशन बना था, तो 1979 के अंदर अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जो थे ओपोजिशन पार्टी के अंदर जब थे, तो इन्होंने चाइना के अंदर विजिट किया था और हालात को सुधारने की कोशिश की थी। एफर्ट्स फॉर नॉर्मलाइजेशन ऑफ इंडो चाइनीज रिलेशंस, तो काफ़ी एफर्ट्स जो हैं वो होती रही हैं। जैसे हम लोग देखते हैं 1988 के अंदर राजीव गांधी जो थे प्रीमियर थे भारत के जिस वक्त, तो वो भी चाइना गए थे कोर्डियल रिलेशंस को लेकर। नरसिम्हा राव visited China in 1993। Chinese President Jiang Zemin visited India in 1996। A historic agreement was signed to increase confidence building measures and reduce troops along the LOC। और ये भी बात की गई थी कि हम अपनी सेनाएं जो है बॉर्डर्स के ऊपर से बहुत कम कर देंगे। तो धीरे धीरे जो है एक सस्पिशन जो है, एक स्केप्टिसिज्म जिसको हम बोलते हैं, शक एक दूसरे के ऊपर चलता रहा और हालात जो है कभी अच्छे और कभी बुरे जो हैं वो चलते रहेंगे। So the nuclear test by India in 1988 again created some tension, but efforts towards normalization of relations continued। India supported Chinese membership for the WTO in 2000। Chinese Premier Zhou Rongji visited India in 2002 and it was decided to boost economic ties between the nations। The normalcy efforts received a boost when the then Indian Premier Vajpayee visited China in 2003। और 2003 के अंदर अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जो है अच्छे रिश्तों को लेकर फिर चाइना के अंदर गए एंड रीअफर्म तिब्बत एज एन ऑटोनमस जोन ऑफ द चाइना। और इस 2003 के विजिट में अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी ने तिब्बत के ऊपर जो है अधिकार चाइना का मान लिया। China on its part agreed to have land trade through Nathula Pass and recognize Sikkim as part of the सिक्किम। और नाथुला पास जो है उससे ट्रेड बढ़ेगा हमारा इंडिया और चाइना के साथ, ये बात कही गई और सिक्किम के ऊपर जो है वो भारत का अधिकार मान लिया गया। द ओपनिंग ऑफ नाथुला पास in 2006 boosted the ties। Now both sides realize the need for peace and prosperity and are making strides towards a sound relationship। तो दोनों जो है 2006 की अगर हम बात करें तो अच्छे रिलेशन जो है वो बन रहे थे। द विजिट ऑफ चाइनीज प्रेसिडेंट Hu Jintao towards the end of 2006 has further given a boost to one new cordiality in Sino-Indian relations। China has asked Pakistan to close terrorist camps being run on its soil। तो एक बार तो चाइना ने पाकिस्तान को भी कहा था कि अपनी जमीन जो है उग्रवादियों को मत दो, वहाँ पे आतंकवाद फैलाओ मत। तो the close proximity on China and Pakistan and Chinese claims on Arunachal Pradesh, parts of Ladakh have again put a question mark on Indo-Sino-Indian relations, but both countries are responsible states and are likely to continue the era of cordiality and cooperation based on global realism। तो हालात एक बार फिर खराब हो गए। एंड बाद के अंदर कि जब पाकिस्तान को जो है आतंकवाद को बाद में ये बढ़ाने के लिए, जब इसको लगा कि इंडिया की इकोनॉमी अच्छी चल रही है, तो बीइंग अ जेलस फ्रॉम द इंडियन इकोनॉमी, उन्होंने जो है पाकिस्तान को सपोर्ट करना शुरू कर दिया। इवन कि एक कॉरिडोर जो है लद्दाख के ऊपर से जम्मू कश्मीर के पीओके के एरिया से बनाया जा रहा है, जिसको सीईपीसी बोलते हैं, चाइना पाकिस्तान इकोनॉमिक कॉरिडोर जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं, वो भी बनाया जा रहा है। तो आज के समय में देखें तो पूरे विश्व के देश जो हैं चाइना से बहुत नाराज चल रहे हैं, और बहुत सी कंपनियां इस कोरोना वायरस के चलते हुए बहुत सी कंपनियां भारत में इन्वेस्टमेंट करने को तैयार हैं। लेकिन फर्स्ट थिंग इज दैट वी हैव टू मूव अवे फ्रॉम दिस कोरोना वायरस, कि जब तक कोई वैक्सीन नहीं बनती, जिससे आज आज़ादी हमें नहीं मिलती, तो तब तक कुछ नहीं कहा जा सकता। सो अभी तो रिलेशन चाइना के जो हैं सारी दुनिया से ही खराब चल रहे हैं। तो अनदर वी सी दैट अ स्मॉल कंट्री who is nearby to the China, and he has defeated China 2 times in the past. A small country which is not having its own resources, that is Japan. वो भी बहुत बड़ी एक ताकत के रूप में एशिया के अंदर बढ़ रहा है। Have you heard about famous Japanese brands like Sony, Panasonic, Canon, Suzuki, Honda, Toyota, Mazda? They are reputed for making high technology products. Japan does not have natural resources and has to import most of its raw materials from the other countries. So, if we talk about the economy of the Japan, is the second largest in the world. You will be shocked to see that people are so unitedly working for the nation. Corruption is not there, unemployment is not there. People are working for the nation, and their economy is second largest in the world. It is the only Asian power of the G8, G8 Group 8. It is the member of the G8, and it's the length largest populated nation in the and 10th largest population in the world. So Japan has suffered destruction due to nuclear bombs, as we have seen in the Second World War, that its cities were bombed with the nuclear or the atom bombs. Little boy and fat. The two cities were vanished, which were Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So Japan has suffered destruction due to nuclear bombs, being the second largest contribution to the regular budget to the United Nations, and it is supporting the United Nations also, and it contribute almost 20% of the total. Japan Media Security Alliance with the US since 1951. As per Article 9 of the Japanese Constitution, the Japanese people forever renounce war as a foreign right of the nation and the threat or use of force as a means of settling international disputes. Although Japan's military expenditure is about 1% of the GDP, and they are spending 1% on the military, 1% of their GDP, it is the fourth largest in the world. So, based on above information, can Japan function effectively as an alternative center of power? Then the question arises. Try to find out about the agreement signed during the visit of the Indian Prime Minister Manmohan Singh to Japan during December 2006. So, students, we see the US hegemony is challenged by the European Union, ASEAN, Association of Southeast Nation, and China and Japan. So students, for this much for today. So thank you and have a nice day. Be safe.